Alright guys, welcome back to another video here on the Dividend Doggo channel on YouTube. Thank you all for coming in and checking out my videos. I greatly appreciate all of the likes, the subs, and the fact that I'm growing is pretty amazing to me because I have no experience with making content on YouTube, nor am I an audio expert or video expert, so these videos are very basic right now as I'm learning. But thank you for tuning in, and we're going to go through the week. Today is March 28th. It is a Sunday morning. It's the first time I've had available to film, but we're going to go over what was going on during the week this week, and we're going to kind of go from there as the week was an interesting one. So as you can see by the portfolio, for the week we have some dividends rolling in, but we also had a pretty big market shift in gain across several different stocks. It was a pretty interesting week overall, and I threw some money into the market as well. So we made some deposits and made some buys to go over for this week. As you can see, I'm just going to briefly go through the portfolio holdings, each by sector. Healthcare was up pretty significantly. That's AbbVie jumping back up. It had a pretty down week a couple weeks ago, and then it just kind of spiked back up this week. The utilities sector, most of this is going to be on VST. It is still kind of in that phase of ambiguity and not knowing how much they're going to owe for debt on the snowstorm stuff. So that is kind of how that goes. And then from there, we have. I had to let the dog out real quick. So from there, we have uh, some pretty massive gains in the consumer's pie. Uh, Consumer pie for me is Altria, Coca-Cola, Target, Pepsi, Home Depot, and Costco. Every single one of them was up this week and up pretty significantly. As you can see, Costco was leading the charge there with a 7% gain for this week. I really should be putting some more money into Costco and Home Depot. These positions deserve to be above, or at least equal to Target, and if I would ideally like to get them up to the point where they're about 20K in each of those positions over the next year. Then the next thing I want to talk about, finance was down just barely. I mean, it's not even really enough to worry about there. Mainly, Bank of OZK was down a little bit this week. I did put money into this as it dipped a little bit this week. I believe the one day was where it sprung back up. And you'll be able to see I did my buy order into this stock. Believe it was Thursday, but we'll double check that in just a moment. So the Friday gains were pretty solid on that for the pie as a whole. Then the next sector I kind of wanted to look at here was industrials. I've been hammering some money into CIX, and it had a fantastic week, going up pretty significantly. We had the dividend roll in, and the dividend went right back into the stock for me. I want to build this position up to about $20,000 to $50,000 over the next year to 2 years time frame. I think this is a quality company with free cash flow that is tough to find in this stock market, and they're going to be returning that capital via dividends. They grew the dividend almost 100%. They're just doing phenomenal this year, and hopefully they'll continue to do the same. I did have a question on why I hold 3M. 3M is just a shelf staple company. It's everywhere. It's in dozens of products that I have in my home. I believe in this as a quality dividend payer, and it's going to give back for many, many years to come. There's really wasn't a great entry point for me on this stock. If we look at this all time, it is doing very, very well, considering it's only been held since August of 2019. It's up 25% for the money weighted average return. That's pretty phenomenal. It's paid out, $800, almost $900 in dividends, 898.51. So next quarter, this will be pushing up over 900 easily. And this just, it'll continue to keep doing that. I think it's got room to grow the dividend. It's not going to grow it quickly, but again, I'm in my 30s. I've got, 30 to 40 years for this to compound and build up. So I'm confident that this company is going to be a winner over the long haul. And it's really hard to see all stocks like that. You have to kind of picture the story of the company and where you think they're going to be in 10 to 20 years. There's super famous quotes like, if you don't want to hold the stock for many years, don't invest in it for a minute. I kind of am of that mindset. I do make some swing trades, but not many. We're going to go to looking at AT&T here. AT&T has had a pretty good week for AT&T, let's be honest. I'm going to show my actual position. I did buy into a little bit more AT&T this week. And as you can see, that price is creeping up to my average price. And if you look overall all time, the earned dividends have pushed this thing up into the range where it is very green for me. I think it's got a long way to go to recover and pull down the debt, but I think as soon as it does, their subscribership for HBO Max is going to keep going up. And I think it's going to be a phenomenal product in the long run. 4 or 5 years from now, we may look back at this and be like, wow, I totally missed out on this $30 price point, because it'll probably be 60 within the next 5 to 10 years. I'm not worried about stocks doubling in 1 year, 2 years, even 5. If they double in 8 years, that's great for me. 10 years, I'm still okay with that. I think AT&T will continue to pay out the dividend. I don't see them doing anything but token raises for quite some time, but they already pay it. For me, it's a near, like, what, 6.5% yield. It's pretty phenomenal. The real estate pie had an okay week. Arbor was down about 7%. It fluctuates pretty significantly overall in the long term. It just paid out its dividend and is getting reinvested. I still love this stock. I wish I had bought more of it last year, but I chose to put a lot more money into O in my IRA and store capital, and the store has just performed like a beast for the past year, and it's just continuing to go. I'm looking forward to the interview with the CEO that Joseph Carlson has in the can. That's going to be an amazing video. And then monthly dividend stocks just not even really fluctuating at all this week. Then we have tech and Zep, which used to be Humway. I'm butchering the pronunciation of the stock. I took profits out of this and left a tiny bit in the stock. As you can see, it's still very green overall. I harvested the profits out of this and rolled them into VST, which is going to be a winner in the long run. It's just got some short-term issues here. So the thing I want to go over here is my buys. So for this week on March 25th, which I believe, yeah, the 25th was Thursday, I did my buy order for the week. I threw another 1,500 into VST. That's probably no shock. It needs to calm down. I hope it stays down long enough this week. Stay under that, 16, 17 price point would be sweet for me to reinvest the dividends from the stock. I should be getting about almost $900 in dividends from VST this week coming in, and that's going to reinvest and buy a whole bunch of extra shares. Like I said earlier, Bank of OZK, I saw the little dip that it was having this week. I threw the money into it, and immediately it kicked up the end of the week and was up on Friday. Feel so confident and great when you make a purchase like that, and then the next day it goes up a couple percent. You're like, yes, swinging at the fence. Got a little buy of AT&T, just throwing that little extra 800 in there, gonna boost that dividend up a little bit for the rest of the year. And then CIX, I put in another $1,500 into the stock. I should be doing these as limit buys, but there is no way to do a limit buy in M1 Finance, so it is what it is. I'm buying the stock in M1 Finance for right now. I am going to be opening up another brokerage really soon here, and I'll be showing y'all what my purchases are and why I'm doing that. It's not going to be as massive, obviously, instantly as this portfolio has been. I've been slamming money into this portfolio over the past year and a half. As you can see with buy orders like this, this week we had some very interesting uh, dividend income rolling in, and then I consistently just keep rolling that into purchases over the course of every day. If I see dividends roll in, I like to get them to work immediately if possible. You can see everything that's going on here in the portfolio. This is the mid-March kind of update. I'll do an end of March update with everything that I kind of threw into the portfolio and all of the dividends that I purchased in just a few days. I'll try to get that out before the weekly update video so that y'all can all see the total for dividends that I actually got from the M1 Finance portfolio for the end of March. I do want to thank everyone for tuning in. I hope that seeing the money coming in via the dividends and seeing it go right back into the portfolio and all these buys really helps inspire people to grow and build their wealth and let it compound over time. Um, Everyone starts at different points, everyone gets there at different paces. It is possible for every person at any salary to save money and invest buying fractional shares and build some serious income for yourself that will be impactful for your future. Whether you're trying to fire and retire early, or whether you just want to provide some extra income for your later years of life, or you just want to save up and have a little bit of dividend income to go take a vacation every year with, that's fine too. This has been Dividend Doggo signing out. This was the end of March this week. I can't believe that March just flew by. I hope that it's been a great month for y'all, and stay safe, stay humble and healthy, and never stop investing.